Alright, what's up everybody? Let me get this switched over. I gotta get on the right page here. So this is the live stream. It aired earlier today. I couldn't co-stream it because I was doing stuff because Chris was gone. She's still gone with a grandniece in the town, and I'm on solo duty on the homestead. So I did not get a chance to watch this live today, but Tactical Adventures did a hour and a half long Solasta 2 development live stream today, wherein which they revealed the world map and talked about a bunch of the stuff that's coming up in the game. We're gonna go ahead and watch this. I was gonna play Outer Worlds 2, and I was like, I saw this come up, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take a break from playing tonight since I have to pay attention to animals and stuff. I would rather go watch some Solasta 2 because early access is coming next year. I'm super excited for this. I had a great time with the first game, and the second one is definitely looking like it's going to be a treat. So this is, again, you can find this on their Twitch page or their YouTube. We're going to watch the YouTube version. I've just got it playing in the background because it had some music, but they have a... this is the beginning of things. We'll just ease right into the trailer, and I may need to adjust some volumes because they may be quiet on there, and we'll take a look as we get deeper into this, everybody.
You are in a continent known in the common tongue as Neokos.
Oh, that's super quiet.
This is the city of Kayamar.
I'll do what I can.
Welcome, adventurers. Ask and you shall find. Neokos is a vast continent with a host of different folk.
Let me know how that sounds, if the quality's still good, because I'm amplifying the volume.
Are we truly ready for this? We know so little about Neokos.
A taste of the land's limitless power.
That was the trailer they just shared the
even
other day.
noblest of intentions. This has been a sad truth since the dawn of the world.
I do have the volume all the way up on their video.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
Okay, so was just gonna check the microphones levels. By the way, if you guys have any issues with the sound level, just let us know because and apparently I just realized something. The trailer is also making sound, so I'm just gonna remove the trailer sound. Hey. So yeah, just let us know in the chat if the sound quality is
That looks good.
not quality, but let's say the audio level is not good, but otherwise it should be good. We just had a little accident earlier on. Well, I think we just unplugged one of the microphones, so hopefully
I stretched my legs. I should not.
All right, sounds very good. So that's perfect. Okay, so welcome to the stream, everyone. Happy to see you all here. So for those who don't know, because some of you may be joining us after the super, Galaxies trailer that we just released, we are here today with Mathieu. Mathieu, who are you? Can you give us a little bit of?
Hello, I'm the founder of the studio. I'm also leading as a creative director for the vision of the game. Basically, since the last one, people have been working to make my favorite toy, so that I can play it with myself and my friends when it was the last one in multiplayer. So anyway, I'm working on the project with the rest of the team to make the best game possible.
Mathieu is one of the person who actually worked on implementing a lot of the rule set, especially for the multiple classes, feats, and all that kind of thing. And he also does quite a lot when it comes to UI, right?
Yes, that's my two main fields.
Yeah. And then we have also today coming with us that you don't see like that often in the community streams. We have Pierre. Pierre, you are?
Hey everyone. So I'm the marketing guy, just making sure that everyone knows about our great game, and thanks to actually you as well, because you're part of the team.
Yes.
Just making sure that the community is well fed with the right information, making sure that people actually know what they need to know, when they need to know about the game.
Because releasing a game today is not just about making a good game. Unfortunately, there's a lot that has to go, and that be like, you have to get the game to the people so that they actually get to know that we exist. So very, very hard work that Pierre is doing, and we all thank him a lot for that. Any question that will have to do with the release or consoles, anything like that, he's usually the one handling it. So for those who don't know me, I am Emil. I am the community lead, and usually I'm the one holding those community streams. It's usually not that high
Along
of
with
a
cats.
production value. We just sit down and talk about the game while either showing a little bit of the game, which we're gonna do today for the first time, because so far we've only been showing the demo. This is the first time we'll actually show you the real game, that part of what the early access would look like. Although it's still very much work in progress, that has to be said right now. The game that you're gonna see today, it has been basically it's a Steam build, so we download it from Steam, and it is not stabilized. That's something we're working on. So it's not meant to be sent to people. So that's why if it crashes, if you find people flying around and any kind of weird bug, that is normal. That is a game being developed.
And so, also on top of the stabilization, there's a lot of polish we want to apply to the game. So it's not only bugs, it's also we have the time to fine tune and improve some stuff.
Exactly. So for example, Pierre, can you remind everyone what date we announced so far for early access?
So we're super thrilled to finally be able to announce the release window. So the release window is officially early 2026.
Exactly. So I know that some of you in the chat have been asking, maybe they're going to reveal the
they're not going to
release
give
date
dates
today. No, that's a little bit too early. There's a reason why in the trailer we only said early 2026, because we don't want to be more specific than that right now. So what we're going to do first, before we go into showing you the world map, is that, as we said earlier, we're going to take your questions. So we're first going to answer a few questions, and then we are going to move on to the world map. So don't worry, if you have more questions later, we'll still answer questions. It's just that we will be focusing here first on the questions before moving on, because some of you may have some very, very burning questions right now. So if you asked questions in the past before we have started now, it is possible that I may not have seen them. So don't hesitate to just ask them again. It is absolutely normal. So I see first question saying early. Does that mean Q1?
Well, it is something that I'm happy to sort of address. Q1 is like a super markety business term that we were not super comfortable to put in a trailer. So, but to be super honest today, I think, yes, we can say that Q1 is definitely targeted. Yeah, that's exactly the window that we're targeting.
So yeah.
But we won't say more precisely.
Don't try to fish more than that.
Please bear with us on this one. You'll have the information soon.
So I see a question going, how much did BG3 influence the development of Solasta 2? I think this one I can talk a bit briefly, and then I will, also give it to Mathieu afterwards, because he might have other opinions. BG3 is a very massive game, right? And we're not ostrich. We don't put our hand in the sand. So we've played BG3 quite a lot.
We loved it.
Yes, a lot of us have completed it. Some of us have played not to the completion, but have played, and I think some of you will absolutely relate to that. Some of us have played the Act 1 6 times and never finished the game, because we
Act 1 is very
afterwards, and we're like, oh, what if I do a barbarian instead, or I want to see those scenes. But there's a lot of good stuff in BG3, and there's a lot of stuff that don't really fit well with Solasta either. So it is it is a very interesting game for us to learn from and also look at, but it doesn't mean that we have, and doesn't mean that we want to copy everything that they do, even though it's a
and
great
also
game,
there's a budgetary
Solasta
constraint.
and BG3 have
Big difference between
a little
Larian
bit of
Studios
difference in their DNA,
and tactical
I think Mathieu, you know that better than anyone.
Yeah, so again, I think BG3 was a great game, and most of us played it and even completed at least once in the studio. I was part of them. That being said, it's true, we have a different focus, I would say. It's still a 5e game, of course, but
same rule set.
We have the focus on a full party assembly,
yes,
where you balance your party the way you want. So I guess there's a lot of creativity in that respect for the players.
This is more of the Icewind Dale
and
approach.
People have been known in Solasta 1 try again the game with different.
You're not trying to have party
so
members that you
for
romance.
people
The
who
party
are
members
really
don't have their
fan
own
of
unique
tactical tabletop
storylines.
gaming, I think
You're
it's a
you're a
strong
party
game.
of
And yes,
adventurers
the
going
tactical
forth and
battle
having
has
an
been
adventure
a
as a
strong
party.
suit for Solasta.
Yes.
One. We want obviously to keep on that for the second game. I hope we did it right, but so far it seems that yes. And of course we have our own universe. So even though we're not a fully licensed D&D game, so Solasta is our own baby that we created, nurtured, and expanded for Solasta 2. So again,
By the way, they also have a tabletop game. I reviewed
complementary
the
games.
Player's Handbook last year. They sent me a
One of
review
the
copy.
games
You
is
should
a
totally
huge
check it
game
out if you love
developed by a huge
tabletop.
team. So it has also a huge depth. We cannot commit to having such a depth in our game, but again, we're offering something different. And I think that what we're going to show today with the warm-up is really a unique feature, which goes a long way into the tabletop references. So we can speak in length about that later on.
Something that I would like to add, because you told about the size of the team, maybe the newcomers maybe do not know how big we are. We're very passionate, but we are less than 40 people internally. When for Larian Studios you can count hundreds.
Yes,
I think
it's
at
big
peak
scale
were 800.
difference.
So you can see that there's quite a little bit of a difference of size, meaning that we want to release a absolutely kick-ass game. Yeah. But yes, you're not gonna be having a story that's like 200 hours long. So
I want to pause here for a minute because I think this is really, I'm very glad that they are getting this out of the way during an initial dev live stream, because any CRPG that follows in the footsteps of Baldur's Gate 3, especially when it's a D&D 5th edition game, which is what Solasta is immediately going to be thrown up against Baldur's Gate 3, and people are going to unfairly compare it to Baldur's Gate 3 and be like, well, Baldur's Gate 3 did this, why didn't you? Why can't your game have this when Larian did this? And they're coming out of the gate and saying, look, Larian Studios has 800 employees. We have less than 40. We are not developing a 200-hour massive cinematic, we are not that scale. What we are doing is a tightly focused, party-based D&D, inspired rule set, our own world. Ours is a much tighter, different game. It's a different level of scope. I'm very glad they're approaching this, and the way that they're talking about it is very mature. We love Baldur's Gate 3. We love Larian Studios. Different level of game development. What we are doing is a different scale, scaled down, still tight, focused. The rule set is there, the fun is there, but you have to have different expectations. You can't expect every single game to be Baldur's Gate 3 because not everyone's going to have that hundreds of millions of dollar budget and hundreds of employees. So I'm very glad that they are addressing this in this live stream and setting expectations for people for what is to come with Solasta 2 and the early access and beyond.
So yeah, on this one we cannot compete. Just like Mathieu said, you'll see that there's a lot of things that we do differently. And the world map is one of them that we're going to show today. But one of the things that Solasta 1 players know very well is that we are not doing the main hero with companions approach, which is BG3, which is Pathfinder, but we're doing full party. And this time, we even push the story even further.
Right, great, Kat. That was the part of the Icewind Dale, was writing your own party background.
Which was, classic, but that basically meant like companions of fortune. This time, we are playing a adoptive family. So we didn't go too much in detail. We already mentioned that in the demo and in our website. But you will see in the coming month when we reveal more things about Solasta 2 that there is quite a lot behind that party that you're going to create. Okay, so I'm going to check a little bit of other questions.
What's up, Heinrich?
So I see some questions about the 2024 rule set. I think we talked a lot about it already, so I'm not going to go back to it right now. If you're curious, we have written quite a lot of articles about that from this summer. I see Hexblade Warrior. As a reminder, we are SRD 5.2. Hexblade is not in the SRD. That means we cannot do that. And in the Solasta 2 universe, what we're going to do in the game, we're going to do homebrew subclasses, right? Mathieu have even coded them.
I think we have mostly homebrew subclasses. Maybe we have just
one. I think it's Life Cleric, right?
From the SRD.
Yeah.
But again, it's an opportunity since we have our own universe to create subclasses which fits the lore and which resonates with what we're trying show in terms of existing magic and factions and etc. So I think it's a chance for us, and if we need to do more and to do all the SRD subclasses in the future, maybe. But right now we've looked at originality or also some of the content which was appreciated in Solasta 1, so it's going to be a good mix, I think.
Yeah, we have, at the moment, the plan is one subclass from Solasta 1, the one of the homebrew, and one new subclass that is linked to Neocos in some way in the lore. Okay, so I see a question that I will give it to Pierre, and Mathieu, you may also bounce on that afterwards. Sure. It's some people have seen the word Kepler in the trailer, and they are curious about how is Kepler helping us.
Yeah, because they self-published the first game.
Okay, you can think of as Kepler as a big brother helping us doing what we were able to do on Solasta 1, just better, stronger, with more resources. It's more this kind of relationship that we have. We maintain full creativity and last decision on the content of the game, on when we should do things, the priorities in the production.
And the game is self-financed, as we used to.
Absolutely.
That's important.
But when it comes to publishing, you can...
Well, I want to pause for a minute, because Mathieu made a very important point right there. The game is self-financed. So if you remember, the first game was Kickstarted, right? And it was very successful, which allowed them to self-finance Solasta 2. So everything they've done to this date, self-finance, the early access is going to continue to help fund them. Kepler is just coming on board as a publishing partner, which he's about to explain. But I am so happy that he said right here out of the gate, we are self-financed, because that takes everything out of the equation of people thinking that Kepler has some sort of creative control over the content of Solasta. That is not the case. As he said, they have final say on everything. They have full control over all the creative decisions, and it's entirely self-financed. So let's listen to them explain a little bit more about the partnership here.
Imagine it's marketing, communication, selling on the different platforms, talking to consoles or different partners. They are helping, making sure that we do that in the right conditions. We're doing this faster than if we were alone to do that on our own. So it's more a helpful hand.
On the publishing side.
Mathieu, did you want to add something on this? Or?
Yeah, I would say I totally agree with Pierre. It's more like Kepler is a loudspeaker for us, allowing us to have a stronger voice, a bigger voice, and also they have expertise, yes, in marketing, but also in other fields like
localization.
There are lots of good people helping us on the game, so it's a great partnership, and we're very happy with it.
I remember you telling us back then, it's like being indie, and we all felt about it, especially because we're marketing, is being indie is kind of tough these days to make yourself heard. Even if you do like a good game, you need to have the platform so that people can see that the game is good and actually get it.
And Kepler actually has a twofold model. There are a group of studios, actually, you know maybe a few of them, some French ones like Slow Clap, that were able to develop Sifu, and actually they released Rematch.
Sifu is a great game, by the way.
But also Ebb Software, if you guys are in for more alien driven art direction. Scorn was actually a game internally developed by Ebb. So that's just a couple of examples. There are more. You can check on their website. But they're also helping developers that do not have marketing teams.
I think Kepler also
release their
published
game. And the
Expedition
latest,
33,
most successful one is Expedition 33.
Yes.
Clair Obscur, Expedition 33 was part of Kepler involvement in terms of publishing.
Okay. So let me check. We got a question for GOG. What we can say so far is GOG is not planned for early access, right?
No, not for early access. Yeah. It's something that it's always hard to sort of plan so much in advance when it comes to 1.0 because we already have a great early access to release. But GOG, if we are able to do it, would come at a later date, probably around or after 1.0.
I see a question that is for Mathieu. Burning question. Ready action. Do we have it in Solasta 2?
Yes, we have it in Solasta 2. It's been implemented
nice.
a few months ago. So we already fixed some of the bugs because of the ready action. So this is going to be in. And as it was
That's a cool
stated
ability,
by,
yeah.
by Ms. Rim on Discord, it's slightly different from Solasta 1.
Yeah.
It's more adaptive, I would say, because instead of saying I want to ready something and then the game asks you what you want to ready, is it an attack, is it a spell? For many actions, actually, like casting a spell, making an attack, instead of validating the action, you say ready action, and then the game is going to react and do the stuff. So launching the attack, casting the spell, etc. So it's much more adapting to the context
Reactive,
of the situation.
There's more basically that you can ready. In the past, I remember Solasta 1 was melee attack, range attack, or cantrip. And the cantrip was, I think you could select the cantrip. But
you could select which one it was.
Yep. But with this new system, you could say, I want to cast Magic Missile. But I don't see anyone. And I can just ready my Magic Missile. And the first moment an enemy drive by, he's going to be taking 3 Magic Missile in the face.
That's
the only
amazing.
caveat is that we still had to red light the action, which should not be readyable. So we've seen most of them, but it's possible that even in early access, when you try to ready, I don't know, a dodge action or something, it's not supposed to be there. But anyway, let us know. But we've removed some of the weird cases already.
Yeah, I mean, early access, as you know, will have some wonky bugs. That's part of the contract. It's like
the beauty
of it. Yes, let's say it like this, right? So there will be probably ready action that will break the game because it will make something really weird. If you find those, let us know so that we can. Okay, well maybe that doesn't work. Do you already know if it's gonna be like AOE, like fireballs will be readyable, or is that
a readyable fireball?
You don't think
I
so?
think it's mostly directed attacks.
Okay, so single target and
maybe later on, yes.
Okay.
Find something.
Yeah, we don't want to over complexify. We wanted to have an option that is more tactical than in the first game, so more selective as well. But yeah, AOE is always a bit more tricky.
If you haven't played the first game, Boris, you totally should. They did an amazing job with their first project, which is why they're able to do such an amazing job with this one.
What we're going to do now is that we're going to start showing the world map, because we've been talking for quite a while. So let's move to the world map.
I gotta pay attention to here.
Okay. Can everyone see the world map?
I can.
Let's see if everyone's...
There's a tiny
party of 4 on the top.
To prove that it's real.
Yeah, it is real. It is real. We're not showing a video. It's not a screenshot.
It's not a screenshot.
Okay, so people see it. So we got this world map here. There's a lot to unpack because, of course, this is the first time we're showing it to people. And not to mention showing it in-game. That is not a video that's pre-recorded. So...
And it is working progress.
It is working progress, of course. As you can see, the water is still very rough. The clouds are also kind of like here, but they're very, very blocky. So don't worry. A lot of things you'll see here today are getting polished, are getting worked on, and this I think is already.
By the way, guys, I will be playing the absolute shit out of the early access when it hits next year. So don't worry, there will be lots of Solasta 2 from me next year.
We're testing one thing
and beyond.
Necessarily focusing on others. Mathieu, can you let us know a little bit more about, for those who don't know, what is this on the bottom?
I was going to start at the beginning for the world map.
Okay.
I was designed and conceived. So for those like me or like us who spend a lot of time on tabletop RPGs and maybe traveled on hexagonal maps, having random events, stuff like that, because your GM was inventive to tell you stories. This is the feeling we want to convey.
Same here, Great Cat.
To replicate.
First game was awesome.
This traveling and discovering the unknown. We had a world map in Solasta, but it was rather static, and you were moving from node A to node B. There were some random encounters, but here the idea is that every hexagonal cell is going to be a small adventure, possibly. So we wanted to have something close to this tabletop feeling. So we started from hexes. So. Maybe we can show the design of the map.
Oh, you wanna show already?
Yeah, they also start from the beginning.
Okay. So we're gonna show you a few things.
If you thought that was work in progress, now the next one is coming.
So we knew we wanted to create a new continent.
Yes.
Xavier and our game director and the narrative team, they built what would be the continent, and then they started creating this basic shape and the environment we want you to have.
So I'm showing the image
Yeah.
right now, like which is the biome and the region, the old, and we even have like the printed version here.
So this was edited in a software called Miro that some of you know, which has an hexagonal layout system. So it really allowed us to give a shape. For example, well, we're not going to show exactly what's inside, but it's going to be a surprise. Let's just say that yes, you're going to start in Kaerma, which we introduced in the Galaxies trailer, which is the top of the north of the continent, and the idea was to funnel the player so that he doesn't go in all directions for the first hour of the game. So it's this peninsula was meant as a simple way to enter and discover new coast. So anyway, we designed on paper with a bunch of different biomes, so desert, mountains, plains, the forest, etc. And then we started to think how we would put that into the game actually. So here we have a printout of this.
Okay, I'm gonna show you it like
Yes.
largely here.
It's gonna change the screen.
Yeah, as you can see here, this is the final version. So don't try to zoom too much. Don't spoil yourself on what exactly it is.
So once we had edited this map, we started to add points of interest and roads and stuff, and then it was really. And we started. We stuck it on the walls to get used to it, understand what was the game about, the campaign, what you were going to discover, etc. The next step was to inject that into the game. And
Okay,
so,
you want me to show you the little video? Okay.
So we built this editor. So it's an hexagonal editor where it's built in Unreal in the same technology with which we create the game. And so it's very simple. You have hexagons with different biomes. So here we put coast hexagons, and then you're going to progressively fill it. Yeah, I don't see much here. Sorry. Yes, it's yellow now. Okay, good. Okay. So first a coastal outline. So you have the hexagonal coordinates on the editor, so it's very easy to understand exactly where you are because it's a classic in a hexagonal edition.
This is awesome. Like going right back to the tabletop roots of like hexagonal maps as well for those of you who've played actual pen and paper.
Some of the biomes are going to impact your movement on the map. We're going to see that in the game later on. And on the second step, we can add connectors, like you can add rivers. So we choose to have rivers in between hexes so that they act as a frontier, preventing you possibly to go from hex A to hex B. And then we also have roads and bridges which go across hexes. And obviously, this is a bit ugly. This is not the final rendering, but this is meant to edit the data in the engine of the world map. So I guess you understand where we're going, is that we want to have a fully procedural world map in 3D and not something which is hard created like we did in Solasta 1. So in Solasta 1, we had 3 world maps, and that's what you had. You didn't have those. Even for modding, people were limited to the 3 world map we did.
Exactly.
We're not speaking of modding today, but I just want to say that with this tool, we're not burning any bridges. And again, the idea is that, for example, if the designers change their mind and they want to have more desert in this part, they just edit it and it's going to be generated in 3D into the game.
So the interesting part here is that, as Mathieu said, in Solasta 1, we had Thierry, or art director, draw the map directly. So if we wanted to change a mountain, they would redraw the map. Here, it's like we put this in the tool.
Parameters.
And then, because
it's
we
procedural.
have other people making the transition from this little map that you're seeing here to what you're actually going to see in-game, we can easily change the layout. And that is something that is really great because when it comes to early access and balance and all that kind of thing, it gives us a lot more flexibility that we didn't necessarily have in Solasta 1.
The only caveat is that with a procedural generation, it's hard to make something which looks good.
Yes, we've passed a long time,
when,
right?
when you do something which is hard drawn and designed, it's easy to make the geometry nice and the method. In our case, we have to use these biomes and generate 3D shapes, etc. And we have to make them work when connecting two axes together. So we're going to see that in the world map in the 3D.
So we're going to move back to the actual. Sorry about this. That's not it. We are going to. Exactly. So we're moving back to the actual game here, as you can see, because in the past, like Mathieu said, you can imagine that this, when you connected land to water, there was no transition. It was just like just green and then blue. You can now see that because we have tech that made it possible to like it look better, like Mathieu said, it's like a
talented artists,
exactly
talented programmers, talented technical artists,
exactly,
and we're using different softwares to create this procedurally generated geometry.
Yeah, visuals.
Sorry, I did not find the acronyms of PCG, but I guess maybe it's possibly constructive or constructive geometry.
It is something like this.
It's PCG, but anyway, you can see that on one cell you have the outline of the coastline, which is lightly drawn. You have vegetation, which is added randomly, not too much, not too few, depending on the type of biome. And you can move the mouse around the different cells to see what kind of biome this is. So we have grassland, we have coast, and they each have different movement costs, meaning that your party is not going to move.
And we can see if they have roads or if they have POIs on them too.
Plains, for example.
So they've got modifiers.
To get back to your initial questions,
yes.
Emil,
Movement.
yes, the control at the bottom is how you monitor how many movement points you have. So it may seem strange because the regular move is on the right, the force march is on the left, but we actually did some playtesting and it's the logical way. So when you click on the next to leave KMR, it's going to spend some movement points.
So it's pulling down.
Regular move, and basically there's like 4 watches in the daytime where you can move without any danger without any danger of exhausting yourself.
Yes.
And then there's force march, meaning that if you want to push a bit more because you want to arrive at this destination in certain time, if there is maybe, I don't know, a marker which disappears if you go fast enough. Anyway, there can be a motivation to do force march and to spend yourself, but each time you do that, you spend force march to move to a cell. There's a risk of adding exhaustion levels.
Yes, we're gonna show that.
But anyway,
so we're gonna be moving around a little bit. As you can see, this was 2 of movements,
difficult
not
terrain,
only 1 because it's not on the road. So and here, as you can see, it says, "Be careful, you're gonna go in force march," because we have 5 out of 8. So 1 is gonna be regular move and 1 is gonna be eating to force march.
Confirm
so it just tells us, be careful, that's going to happen, you might get exhausted, and if you play D&D, you know that exhaustion levels can be very devastating, especially in combat.
Yeah, so what is the consequence of force march?
So we actually Fofi failed the constitution check, so there's now it's different in 2024 compared to 2014, and now each exhaustion level it's -2 to all rolls.
All D20 rolls, and also you're slowed.
That is pretty devastating, yeah.
Speed, sorry.
Exactly. So it's a little bit less bad than 2014, but
yes,
it does stack up. So for the moment, as you can see, we have no more movement, so we're gonna take a long rest. We're doing a little resting here. As we said, work in progress still. You can see that Fluffy is no longer exhausted because we did a long rest.
Yes.
It's all good.
There was a pop-up saying that the party has found some food.
Yes.
But let's explain that later.
Okay, so
floating
we're gonna look at the
characters.
screen here, and this is actually the new things that we have in Solasta 2 with the free exploration. Okay, so first of all, you see the characters are floating in the air. That is normal. That is because like we haven't put them properly yet. We're still like kind of like polishing, and especially right now it's a dev playground. So we're like doing the events ourselves. So you may see like English that's not very proper. It's normal. Like we are writing them. We have like yet to have like the passes for the writers and all that kind of thing. So what is this and why is it important for us? This is because, sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to say that the rationale behind this layout is that in some games when you have exploration or travel, you have a pop-up window with a small illustration in black and white. It's I would say it's a classic for some
for CRPGs
tabletop games. It would have restricted us to a number of limited events because we would have to come up with a special image for each. The choice we did was to have as many events as possible in the game. So have basically game design and text.
Yeah.
and then procedurally generate a situation as we've seen on the
That's
screen.
great.
So,
So
the idea
it
here
just
is
yeah,
to
because we
have,
just played like the
in
Pillars
a
of
nice
Eternity
way,
games
in
do
an
that, and the
immersive
Pathfinder
way,
games
as
do
many
they pull
world
up the
events as
2D
possible.
image, you
But
get a
maybe
cool
you can
black and white, you
continue.
get a description text of what's going on.
As Mathieu has said, if we were going to do 2D illustration, we would be limited by the number of illustration we can draw from our limited size of the team. As a reminder, 35 people and much less artists. So instead, these, just like the map that we've seen in our tool, we make a map, and in 3D we see the map looking much better. This here, the events are going to show you a scene, which we call diorama, I think, in
Diorama,
art parts. And it is adaptive to the biome you're in. So for example, here the event happened on the coastline, so you get to see a little scene on the coastline. So you'll see later, because we'll show events on different places, that those little scenes will adapt to the forest, to the grasslands,
Also to the time of day.
and to the time of day. For example, here
But
we
these are all
not in
procedurally
forest march, so
generated.
we're during the day, so you're looking at the bright sun. But when the events are in the night, you'll see that the lighting changes a lot. Equally, we can adjust the the events to only trigger, for example, or in certain condition. Some events only trigger by the coastline because it talks about boats and stuff like this. So it doesn't make sense to have this event trigger in the forest. Similarly, you will have events that only trigger during the night. For example, you're preparing to make camp and something approaches. So that is not really making sense during the day. So you'll
Also, some events can connect to our internal database,
exactly.
meaning that if you spoke to this person, then it can trigger the event,
Yes.
and not only in this case. And our database is what we use on the global game actually,
Yes.
to trigger, understand situation, unlock them, etc. So it works as well. In this case.
React to what the players did.
Yes. So that is something that is an addition to Solasta 1. If you remember Solasta 1, the only encounters you would have were combat encounters. We discussed this a lot. Solasta 1 actually, we wanted to have more than combat encounters, but we didn't have the time back then. So we released it with only combat encounters. Solasta 2, because we have a lot of exploration, we wanted to add a lot more situations. It's not just let's fight.
Perfect.
So you'll have a lot of little events like this.
Like it's
Sometimes
observe.
it is almost inconsequential. It's lore. It's like interesting. You get to learn more about the world. Sometimes it's like a few skill checks. You could have some bad outcome, like you could get exhausted if you fail. You could also find items or rations. You could even, we have thought of that in the future, have like wandering NPCs or merchants. And of course, you'll also have random encounters with sometimes the ability to like maybe ambush them, or you get ambushed according to the dice roll. You'll see that there's text on the left, the name of the event, and there's the choices you have on the right. Sometimes these events lead to combat or other things. Sometimes we can just say, okay, I want to leave. The reason I'm leaving here is because we're not going to show any combat today. Still a lot of things moving on, so moving pieces. So we don't want to show too many things. But there is a lot of different events, and you'll see that if we keep on moving, sometimes it's going to trigger. Let's see if...
Just a thing,
Yep.
listen. As you can see on the bottom right, there's a forage symbol here. And previously there was a pop-up saying that the party has managed to forage some food. So in this case, you will not need to spend your rations, or because basically you don't need to spend any, because someone in the party has found enough food for the rest of the characters.
Perfect.
So the system is also planned for spells which provide food, but which are not present in the game right now. But obviously it will display, for example, when it's ready, if you have create food, the spell, and you have not foraged and you don't have any rations, well, the priority will be for the least costly element, which is casting a spell. Also, a small change we did compared to Solasta. We've simplified the ration system so that now a ration is enough food for the full party.
Yes, we
That's
don't have
nice.
4 rations.
So
for 4
if you
characters.
have 3 rations only, you're not going to nightmare. So earlier you were seeing a number of available rations. It was simply seeing how many long rests you have.
Per party, for the
Yes.
party.
Yeah.
So, because you'll see that when we're doing hex crawl, there is a lot more days, because it's like a lot of places take a lot of time to go through, you'll have a lot more long rests, which is also why foraging will help. Having a ranger with high,
Oh, I'll definitely have a ranger in my party. 100%. It'll probably be
or
me.
having, like you said,
I don't know. My first playthrough is usually a rogue,
the
stealth
one spell
archer,
that
thief
everyone
type
uses.
with pickpockets and stuff.
Let's see if we can trigger some more events, because
I do
sometimes
love
this
my
is completely
rangers.
RNG related.
There's a few more elements we can.
You want to talk
here.
about?
For example, you see there's different patterns on the labels on the different locations. Obviously, the pinkish squares, it's temporary. It's not.
It's not final.
It's not final. But yes,
It's not
some
final.
The Sentinel and Kaerma have this reddish pattern. It symbolizes a faction, actually.
Yes.
I love that we get a
while
token.
The old C-class building
characters.
does not belong to any faction. So this is how we make the player understand
can
that
see the
this
dark
continent belongs to different groups of factions, actually. Also, you can see on top of some of the labels the services provided or the special features that you have in this location.
You can also see that there's an active quest, so when you're kind of like lost on the world map running around, because it's going to be huge, right? Like, we're not showing you everything, but this is, if you remember a little small island we showed in the little map that we've shown in the drawing. This is the little island.
This is the tip of Neokos.
Exactly, and Neokos, we're not going to show any, I don't think we can we move? Oh no, we can move. So it is quite large. So during the early access, you won't be able to go everywhere. Oh, you can see some mountains here through the clouds.
Through the mist.
But you'll have like a small share of the island, and then during the full game, you'll have a lot more places to go to.
The mountains you showed were actually peaks, so they are impassable.
Okay, so you won't be able to.
So sometimes you have to find the right way. It can be a small adventure in itself to go from point A to point B.
So okay. So let's see if we can trigger some more events. Like I said, it's completely RNG, so sometimes we are lucky and sometimes we're not. Oh, then now we're lucky. So as you can see, we have an event in the woods during the night. So you can see that the lighting has changed, the scene have changed, and the background has changed. You can also see that the character is lying up to nothing right now, but that is, again, normal because we're still adjusting a lot of this. So here you can see that the traveling encounter is just a fellow wanderer. Saying that this has a very few rough days. So as you can see here, this is not going to be a combat encounter. It's just going to be like a skill check here. It is going to be like a charisma skill check. We can see here we succeeded.
Nat 20,
means,
baby.
hey, you get to share a few discussions, blah blah blah, and so on.
Just a thing also, it's not showing here because I don't think your characters have any of these spells, but there are some spells you can cast during dialogues, so cutscenes.
Like guidance.
And also in world events. So guidance or maybe enhance ability or another one that I think the new fighter tactical mind power can be activated if is the one answering the question. So again, you can improve your chances of succeeding on the reaction with this.
Yes. So that is one thing that we didn't have in Solasta 1 if I remember, and that is something that people asked for.
We had
it. Okay, never mind.
You could launch some powers, yes, but maybe not guidance.
So now you don't have to say, oh, I know that I'm gonna go into dialogue. I need to cast guidance on my character. Now it's gonna be there. So we can.
Are there any questions on that?
True. Okay, so we've shown a little bit. We've walked a little bit. Let's see if there's any questions. So, guys, if you have any questions, just go again and ask them because so I see. Is there a permadeath mode? No, right? Because. Well, actually, wait. What do you mean by permadeath? Is a character skill in combat, they're gone forever? That doesn't work, right?
No, because you play a party, so if someone dies, it's game over unless you can revive or reload the same game. So
exactly,
you have to stick together.
Imagine that the story is about 4 brothers and sisters, and it's just oh yeah, 3 of them just died, but it's okay. Bob is gonna replace them, right? We're just gonna create 3 more people. I know that in tabletop there are ways that you can play with your DM to fill the story in.
I never ever allow permadeath. I don't allow characters to die at all in my campaigns. Period.
Saying let me just
you're the hero.
The story
you're not gonna die.
So
suffer devastating side effects.
Game,
yes.
We need to
die.
Give some semblance of.
At least not until the campaign's over.
So this is not the type of game we're doing.
And I think you will understand that when you play the start of the early access, the
absolutely.
way the family, the party is created.
It's bound together. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. How to get access to early access. Pierre, how do we get access to early access?
Oh, okay. So the early access is going to happen on Steam and solely
Yes.
on Steam. Pretty much like on any other games that go into early access, you're going to be able to buy it.
Yeah.
So we already have a store page. If you want to wishlist it to be notified when we go to early access,
And I highly recommend
now's
you
the
do
moment.
that now.
And
Go
remember,
wishlist
guys,
Solasta 2 on Steam.
If you want to support developers, make sure you wishlist their game because this does impact the visibility they have on the store page.
Absolutely.
So that is, even if you don't have money or stuff like that and you want to support people that you like, this is always a choice that you can make.
Go wishlist the game.
I
Don't be
see
lazy.
it-
Can we just perform
Yeah, sorry.
a long rest so that the view is clearer? It's bright.
Oh yeah, because right now it's very, very dark, right? The screen. You're right. Let people see the map while we're yapping.
While we're chatting.
So one question, very easy one that's not linked to the world map is: are weapon masters going to be part of the game?
Yes, it's
Yes.
implemented already.
Yeah. So you'll see that in early access. It's one of the.
It may be bugged,
Yeah,
bugged still, but yeah, it's in.
Yeah.
I implemented it myself, so yeah.
We've seen some funny bugs. Like for example, we've seen that cleave at the moment could cleave onto dead people. So you could cleave
Oh,
a corpse that's already dead. Stuff like this. But it's like small things. It is normal. Will it be open world? It is like you can roam around the map, so it is open world in that sense. But the story still has it has a beginning, it has an end. It's a little bit less like, let's say, Skyrim or Oblivion. You still have like a very strong storyline, and some location might be blocked if you don't follow that story. But you'll still have a lot more freedom than Solasta 1.
Yeah, it's free roaming. It's
Free roaming, let's say that. True. So, okay, question. I think we can answer this one. So, how are we linked? How are we tied to Wizard of the Coast, considering we're using, D&D 2024 rule set? I think we're pretty
We
clear on
have
that.
no ties.
Exactly.
We have a relationship with them. We speak from time to time, but for this game, there's no connection.
Business.
Yeah, so this comes back to they are just using the freely available SRD, which is what my brother and my wife and I did with our tabletop game, which we published. It's been like 3 years ago, I think, when we published it. We did a 5th edition rule set world, but it was our world, our creation. We have a player's handbook, which is all the lore of the world, all of the unique classes to our world, and then we have a level 1 to level 4 adventure, which is the starting adventure in that, and then that transitions into the first novel, which is a Dragonlance style novel, which tells an additional story about the characters that you meet in that campaign, and then players can take that rule set book and go forth and create their own adventures in our world. That's what they have with Solasta. They used the 5th edition rule set, the SRD, and then they took that to build their own world. But they're not a D&D product. It is not a Wizards of the Coast product. It is a world called Solasta. This is their world. They're just using the rule set. That's it. There's no Wizards of the Coast at all.
Wise, we don't have any contract or whatever because
Yeah, it
is
sucks,
SRD
Deeks. The New World
5.2,
news
and we're
today.
only
Well, not just
using
New World,
the
but like
version
all of
5.2
Amazon. It just
They're-
sucks. Like
they're aware of
30,000
Oh, yeah, and
people
it's
losing their
that-
jobs.
They're aware of what we do.
Yeah, it's
Probably
not
the Lord of the
secret.
Rings game is
like you
probably
said,
shuttered.
Pierre and Mathieu
I haven't heard
often speak with them,
confirmation yet, but
to
I
give
would
us to
assume.
give them an update about how the game is going because they're also curious.
We'll see.
Will there be a weather cycle like rain or snow, Mathieu?
Not for early access, I think, but it was part of the design discussions. But I don't know how far we want to go. But yeah, the idea would be that maybe some, because we don't see it here, but there are some regions, and maybe some regions were affected by an effect like the weather, etc. So that you understand that it's going to be tricky to go there, or harder to move to that region. But probably not in early access, but maybe later on.
So there's a question here, but I think this will be balanced because again, we are still very much playing around with war map.
That's the report,
One
is that
person
they went
what
for
is the
casual
view range on the hex
/
map?
AI-based games.
Do you need to be one hex next to another to reveal the fog of war, or will we see 2-3 hex away?
You see a few hexes away.
Yeah.
It removes the fog of war progressively. But I think we've been a bit more aggressive now to reveal like 2 axes around. But I'm not sure.
Right now
and
it's
again,
1, but that's because it's an old build.
It's an older build.
Actually, it's a good point. If you are when you're hovering on any X, you have actually 2 kinds of feedback. One that is telling you that you can go, and one that is telling you that you cannot go. So the string
because there's a barrier or a gap or river blocking the movement.
Okay, let's see. Do we have downtime systems like crafting, researching contact that ties to the new overworld, like combining all those random pickups into usual things, or is progression still only quest centric? So on this one, I think I can help because we did talk quite a bit in the design section. There will be some like activities like crafting, but it won't necessarily be tied to traveling. So I won't go into further details because there's a lot of things we haven't revealed yet. So yes, there will be crafting. It will be slightly different from Solasta 1 that we have already announced. But right now we haven't planned to implement like tour de garde or whatever, right? Like it's mostly like exploration, but you won't be having like Pathfinder when you're doing long rest. Like someone is doing crafting, someone is doing like cooking. Someone is doing like checking for enemies. These things we're not planning to do. Will co-op be available in the early access?
Yes.
Aha. What I can tell you is not at release, but it's something that we are already working on. It's really something that we want to get right during early access. So we cannot tell you when it's going to be available, but it's part of the plans to make it available
during early
before
access.
1.0, so that means during early access. So
but not from the launch of early access.
It's already a huge step forward compared to Solasta 1 when, for the ones that do not know because they weren't there at the time, on the first game we're only able to release online co-op after.
And they didn't do console. It was console releases came.
The 1.0 release. So
like a year after
around,
as well.
We understood that it was super important. We love that feature. We want to make it work as quickly as possible. So yes, during early access is something that we can already tell you today.
And I think I will go with another question for you. Will there be console versions soon after the official release?
When you mean, okay, I'm gonna try to translate what official release mean. If you're telling 1.0 release, so the full game release, I can already tell you that it's how we see it. So that means no, there won't be any consoles available during early access. That's not possible for us. We really want to make sure that we focus on early access and keep on iterating on what the final game is going to be on PC. But by 1.0 release, we want to make sure that consoles are ready as soon as possible. So either at 1.0 or right after, but it's probably too early to say, but it's what we have in mind.
Just looking at the party, sorry.
You will love it.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so I'm going through the questions.
Keep in mind that not even Baldur's Gate 3 did a full console.
Yeah, so I see
at
some people saying, the text at the encounter doesn't sound right. It is normal. Like I said, right now, this is a playground. So a lot of the things that you'll see are placeholder. It's like things we've written ourselves. And we're not like native English speakers, so we know that there's going to be needing, like, our writers actually need to go through and just fix that and all that kind of thing.
That's
so don't worry
fair,
about
man.
That.
It's
it
like
normal.
me when I write
Some
stuff
events
in
don't
Spanish.
make any sense.
I give it to
sometimes
my wife.
You say, yes,
edit for me,
receive
please, sweetheart.
I don't know, like a food ration. It's like there's no reason for that. Okay, looking forward to the weapon masteries. Okay, what modding tools are planned to be implemented? Is there a chance we could create our own world map? I think we've already said.
Again, we cannot commit to having community creation tools for the early access. Surely we don't have time because it's a huge project. We have lots of stuff to do. For Open War, again, we cannot guarantee it, even though it's something which is very important for me. Again, that being said, the tools we've built for the world map, we did not burn any bridges, and it's you see how simple it is to use. It's the goal, if we can, to make it available. And also the world events. It's a very simple editor.
Yes.
Where you say, okay, how many answer? This answer is blocked by this condition, etc. And then it's just text that you
So
say.
they're pre-designing this to hopefully be able to because the first game had a very robust dungeon
there's
creator
other elements
for
of
people who wanted to
complexity
create
for the
their own
modding that we have not
campaigns.
solved yet. We don't know if we can make it and when.
So
not
that's
a
good to know.
guarantee.
To summarize, we cannot promise anything, but what has been developed has kept the door open to modding.
Yeah.
Which is, the point. It's like
We want to find a way.
we want to find a way. It's just, are we going to have the time? Are we going to have the the manpower for that? But at least we have the will. We wish to do that.
Everyone at the studio was truly humbled by the creativity of the players on the first team.
Oh yeah, we had like custom
Crazy.
maps. If you haven't played, by the way, if you only did like the official campaigns, Solasta one, there's a lot of really, really great campaigns. And Mathieu have even played some with her friends. I've played one like during my vacation on my Steam Deck, and all those kind of things. And it's really crazy to see a game we've made be taken by someone else, like revamped completely with the tools that we made, and make a absolutely insane experience. So I see. Okay, so that might be a little bit too early. Like, will Rangers get animal companions? We don't have Rangers in the early access. So, well, I mean, in the launch of early access. So for a reminder, early access has 6 classes at launch, which is fighter, rogue, wizard, cleric, paladin, and sorcerer. And the idea is that when we do updates during the early access, we slowly add all the remaining characters, right? So I cannot tell you yet, but maybe Mathieu already has something he wants to add first. But
Druid
we'll see
came
how it
later,
goes.
Ranger came later.
I have no. Actually, there's a wizard in the start.
Yeah, you already have the wizard, so you're
I'm
already
happy
fine.
because that's my main class. For the rest, I don't know. Sometimes you think, okay, I'm going to do all the natural spells oriented because once it's done, I can do ranger and druid. But then the druid can shape change, so it's
shape
a
shift
nightmare.
is...
We have to fix. So
I love
anyway,
the druid
I don't know
in
yet.
Baldur's Gate 3.
We've
I
learned
would
a bit
love.
with the new
I
tool
never
how to
tried the
make
druid in
classes, understand
Solasta.
the complexity and make it work. So maybe something which seemed very complex.
I've done the
will
rogue
be
and the
easy
ranger.
and the opposite in the end.
And it's something that we've done in the past, but if we have to choose between class X and class Y because of the timing, we cannot do everything at once. If we need to choose, maybe we can also
sometimes
think of involving the community to sort of help us making that choice.
We've done that in the past, as you know, like when we need to prioritize and we are like, there's still 2 options that are both viable. We just want to know like which one people want the most. Sometimes we do like surveys like this. Just so you know, like, whenever we talk about one class, there's always going to be something complicated, right? So like Mathieu said, druids mean you have shapeshift. Rangers, if you do animal companion, it's like, oh, suddenly you have a pet that you need to like control. And then you say, okay, but maybe the monk, right? But then the monk has like a lot of hand-to-hand animation that we didn't have before, so we need to like also add like the animators to do that kind of thing. So there's a like basically you take one class and you're like, oh, this is the easiest one, and then you lift the veil and you're like, oh, never mind.
Crap. Backstab,
like, put it down again.
sneak
Like,
attacks.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah,
Find
always
traps,
going to be a
open
lot.
lock. The rogue is way more
I see.
complicated.
Is there going to be a developer supporter bundle, just like the first game? Yes, we're going to do a supporter pack. So just as usual, just for those who don't know about the supporter pack in Solasta 1, we've been very clear about it. You don't buy the supporter pack for its value. It is usually stuff like, hey, a bunch of cosmetic, and it's just if you want to give us a little bit more money so that we can have more budget working on. It is not necessary. You can have the full experience without ever buying it, so don't feel forced to buy it. You're not missing on anything. Will there be death saves? Yes. Right.
It's implemented already.
Yeah. Death save is part of the game, so...
We had a discussion yesterday about having death saves for everyone.
Yes.
For heroes or companion as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know if people are going to be shocked by the fact that companions in the game could have death saves. But again, you get attached to them, so it's natural to give them a second chance. I don't know, as a GM when I was game mastering, companions would not have a second chance. But and sometimes it was a bit sad. So anyway, it's part of the discussion. We have to fine tune the game and the balance and the experience.
It's part of the thrill. Like, it's part of the tacticality as well. Like, you just want to make sure that you protect everyone.
So there's discussions like this, as you can see, because like rule as written, NPCs don't get death saves. So we thought about the players being like, I got attached to my friendo here, so I don't want him to like
my
get a crit and
friendo
die immediately. So this is the start of things that during early access, when you play, you can also let us know what you think. So it could be just like a setting going forward, like in the options.
By the way, if you're not in their Discord, get in their Discord. They are very active in the
do they
Discord
get the
for
NPC treatment, which
Solasta
is
2.
instant death. So you'll see those kind of things. I see a question here that is saying, oh god, is the story time gated? I don't think so, right? It's just that you can do forced march to get faster to locations, but there might be some things that is time gated. I'm not sure. I know that we have toyed with the idea. I cannot say if we have for sure.
It's not going to be in the early access anyway.
It's not, So first, early access, there's not going to be any of that. And second, the story itself, I think won't be time gated because we've talked about this and we've entertained the idea, of like a creeping, a kind of like creeping sense of danger or whatever. But we also thought about people who don't want to feel like they've wasted their time and they're like, oh, it's too late. This is a game over, right? Okay, let's see. Please add Iron Man mode like in Solasta 1. We'll probably do that at like 1.0.
Yes, of course we will. We'll try to find a way.
It's like Iron Man mode, just so you know, never during early access because during early access there's just so many things
too many other things to balance
that you are going to like lose your save to something very stupid. So that is not something we want to do. One of the biggest thing we keep on telling people when they have like an issue in early access is just save, reload. Usually there's a lot of like script that can be fixed by just doing that. So let's see.
Turn it off, turn it back on again.
Has character customization changed or improved from 1? I think we can say yes.
Yes, we've already seen it.
It's very different. Many more options.
It's also Unreal 5 versus Unity 4.
It's a very complex system with all the possibilities and combinations. We do mixings of character faces, but you're going to see that when discover the game.
It's something that we wanted to communicate on.
Yes, later.
But you can already say no. That's cool. That's cool.
This is
just the very short answer is yes, drastically. But if you want to shed a bit,
no, just to say that we did not choose the easy option for character creation. Also, more on the philosophy of the game. We want to open to as many audiences as possible. So there's a means to do an easy and quick creation of a character if you just want to select some basic elements, and then an advanced one for the big fans who want to have all the details. Obviously, it's double the amount of work for us, but I think it's interesting because some people who don't have the courage to build a full party with all the details can go faster. Or maybe possibly you want to have one of your characters finely designed, and then the rest you want to go faster to generate them. So there's a lot of options to speed that up and to get into the detail if you want. And obviously, visual customization of the character, it's something we have with many options. And we're still going to add more after the early access.
I was toying with the idea earlier today to show you guys the main menu screen because it changed quite a bit before we showed you this world map, but we decided that it was still too much,
too much
progress, and there's a lot of things we don't really want to talk yet about, so we didn't show it in the end. We'll show you that later down the line, and we'll have plenty of things to talk about. I see a question about, will there be ship movement? Like, can we go on the sea, or is this going to be just land movement?
No, not for the early access, and I don't think for 1.0.
Yeah.
But then it's for the future. After the game release, maybe we can add that later on. Yeah, there will be maybe teleportation like we did in Solasta 1, but ships, not yet.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's nothing which prevents the hex editor to have several islands and connect them with the ships later on. So you can be completely free to do that.
Okay, let me see if there's any question we can actually answer. Because there's a lot of things. Please add weather, it's lovely. XP is quest related. Can we do random combat? So random combat still give XP. Events,
Yes.
you know, some events do give XP, but a lot of it also comes from quests, right? Because like we want
Primarily
people
from
to
quests.
not just grind, and I mean you can grind, but it's like it's the quest should also give a lot of XP. The preview of the map has me excited. I might buy the game twice. Thank you. Just gift it to a friend or someone else. Don't buy it twice for yourself. I'm curious about grappling. Grappling will never be added. That's
No,
for sure.
it's too complex
Yeah.
in terms of animations, or it would look funny to have the character grapple.
I don't even
but
think
see
Baldur's
the
Gate 3 had
vines or
grappling.
tentacles around him. So.
The thing we always say about grappling is there's a reason why even BG3 haven't done it is because like you have to imagine that you would need to have animation that is specific to every type of creature. Like you would need to grapple a beast
Owlbear
differently than you grapple a
versus
you know,
a
a
gnoll
human or a
versus
you know
a
what
dwarf.
happens if you try to grapple a golem? Do you like grapple the leg or something? There's a lot of things that make it very complex. So
By the way,
we're
that's
not
why
gonna do
the
that. There
Dragon's
were
Dogma
in Solasta
2
1
and
some
Dragon's
creatures
Dogma
that could
1
grapple you, but
grabbing
not
onto
like
a
it's-
monster and
so for
climbing
example,
onto
we
it
had
is
like
one of the
a,
most hideous pieces of
Swamp
animation in real time I've
what's the
ever
name
seen in a
again?
game.
The shambling mount.
The Shambling
Dragon's
Mount,
Dogma
yeah,
1,
Shambling
Dragon's
Mount,
Dogma 2.
who could, like,
Jumping on the back
So-
of different
so they
animals
could
and
grapple,
beasts
but
was
that's, like,
horrible.
very specific,
Horrible.
So it's only one
The
animation.
clipping,
It is the
it's
monster
horrible
grappling
system.
the human, not the human grappling the monster back. Let's see. Oh, will it still be possible to shoot lightning bolts through walls, or will AOE spells now like be blocked by walls?
Maybe not in early access, but it's still in the pipe of what
Yeah.
engineers should do to make sure that we have a logic for that.
Yes.
But it's not trivial.
Yeah,
It's
not ready, but it's something we want to do.
It's a different complexity from Solasta 1 because we don't have the same topology at all, but it's still complex. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
So, just so you know, we want to do it. For this one, we have seen it quite a lot in Solasta 1 with people saying, hey, it is a tactical game. I should be, if I'm in cover, I shouldn't get hit by the lightning through the wall. We agree with that. So, in Solasta 1, a bit complex because of the technology we're using. But in Solasta 2, right now it is not in yet, but also we're limited early access to level 4, so you won't have lightning bolts anyway. But it is something we want to do, so that you don't get zapped through the wall. Okay, so I actually answered the question that was right after, which was what will be the level cap in early access. Can we please give magic users some more cloth? We will have some magic, robes, but not in early access, at least not at launch.
There's a default robe for the wizard.
Yeah, the wizard have different robes than the sorcerer.
But you mean magical robes?
I think they want just to have like more visual options because technically, if you play a fighter, you could put any type of armor. But yeah.
There's a possibility right now. I don't know if you're going to stay to change maybe some elements of the clothing, but we'll see what we have in 1.0. Anyway, we have stuff like that in the plans for 1.0. Maybe not all in early access.
Okay, so I do have a few people telling that unfortunately there's still a bit of echo because I talk too loud. But that's sorry. We're trying something with 2 microphones because like the one microphone setup last time people were saying that there was too much echo, like we were kind of like in a kitchen or something. So hopefully that is not
It
too
sounds
disrupting.
fine.
I'm sorry, I know I'm talking very loudly, which is why that happens.
Some
Let's
people are just
see.
whiny
Is
little
vertical-
bitches.
is
Just
vertical debug
relax,
differently?
everybody.
It's done differently because we don't have the same topology in the game engine. We used to have cubes in Solasta 1. It's no longer the case here with the engine simulation, but still we try to make the most of verticality, even designing the arenas in a specific way that's interesting. So it's different, but it's still there. It's still part of the game experience.
I'm just scrolling through the questions because I realized I was talking about questions like 10 minutes ago, so probably some people are asking stuff and I'm missing it. There's a discussion going on in the chat. Whoa, what the hell? Let's see. Oh, I see a lot of people talking about the adopted party members and how like elves and dwarves and humans don't have the same. So guys, right now about this, it's just like just go with the flow. It's magic. Don't worry about
It's
it.
magic. I
Right?
love
Like,
it.
don't argue.
It's
It's
magic.
okay. It's fine.
Don't worry about it.
We don't need to debate about that. Will there be a possibility to speed up the game? Sometimes I want to see character move faster from point A to point
Oh,
B.
for like, speed
Are we
one.
speaking about the world map or the once you're inside a location like you played in the demo?
So inside the location, I think we have a solution to that, right?
Yeah, the local map allows you to transport rapidly to some points.
Yeah. So like in Solasta 1, we had like checkpoints, and when you unlock them, you can click and your character
No,
just
I think what people are asking
zooms back
about
to the
is
checkpoint.
like,
For
I
the
think
For the world map,
the
as I
Pathfinder
was
games,
saying,
I think
yeah.
you can
we may
click
have,
like double speed, or is it the Pillars of
teleporters in
Eternity
the
games? You
future,
can say
so
double speed,
could be a
and
faster
all of a
way.
sudden your character's
Also, I
like,
see that right now we have like, if I want to go there, I cannot like tell my party to just auto path to there. Is that going to be something we want to do,
It's
or
in the plans? But
okay, it's
yeah.
in the plan. So it's as you know, guys, a lot of things we want to do. It's going to take some time. Is there any planned release DLC for another campaign? That is a bit far, right, Pierre?
Yeah, DLC means we've already released the early access, and then we already released the updates of the early access, and then we released the 1.0 version of the game. But like a way to see it is we have a lot of stories to tell around the world of Solasta, and especially around the second game. So yes, if we are capable of creating additional stories, yes, there will be additional DLCs.
And
They
also
did
we spent
3
a lot of
DLCs
time
for the
on
first game, or
building all
4?
the tech and tools and data, so it would be sad to let it go to waste with no follow-up. But obviously, it will depend on the
Let me
how
ask
the game
Google.
works and what you expect in terms of additional content.
Yeah, if the community is strongly requesting additional content to be created, yes, of course, we'll answer that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think we've shown quite a bit of the world map. We've shown quite a bit of everything. I'm just gonna like move a little bit more. Oof.
There were
Yeah.
4 major
Immediately I
DLCs
get
for
hit with
Solasta in
an
the first
event.
game, so it's
There's an
theoretical
immense
they could do
statue.
4 DLCs in the
Exactly.
second.
So we're gonna just steer away so that we don't get like into combat. But as you can imagine, so as you can see, the build is still very much not optimized right now because we waited too long. I think the game is kind of dying. So sorry, I should
That's
not
okay.
click. So I'm just showing you different little scenes, as you can see.
That contain placeholder in
That contains placeholder and people just sitting into air. But I think this character right there in the background is actually like
Hang on, I heard a
properly
noise.
placed. But otherwise, yeah, they're just doing things. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna stop clicking because I see that the more I click right now, the more the build is like kind of like heating up. So yeah, levitation confirmed. Well, in the future we'll have
first
flight.
you have to make the features.
Yeah.
Then you have to make them look good.
And then you
and
have
then
to
you
move-
have to optimize them to make sure they don't make you crash the game. So
Exactly.
It's, we're at this stage.
How big is each local map? I think you're talking about location when you go into them. It will vary. Like the Karamar is very large. The city, there are locations that are like more like small encounters. There's like random encounters map where it's more like one combat, and there's like usually something like Old Sickles Building or Sentinel will have a little bit more because there's like lore inside the thing. And yes, the levitation confirmed because in the future we'll have flight. That's something we said. Not in your early access launch, but we've always wanted to add flight again.
Well, the level cap will not allow.
Yeah,
flight
at the
at the
moment,
beginning.
no. Spam click the game will crash the game, understood. Yes, at the moment, probably. If I was to spam click, I would probably crash something. I have a question regarding shooting over cover. Some games you can't shoot over 40 centimeter fence because it's cover. Will we be able to like have? I think Karim actually added some leniency on that. Like when you're
Karim is
halfling.
our lead engineer.
Oh, so yeah, it's technical director. So he like basically when you're a halfling, you're like very small. So sometimes you cannot really see over cover. But I think he did add some leniency, so you could still shoot.
I wouldn't
It depends. I don't remember, but I think they did some things. Spam click to escape total party wipe in Iron Man mode by crashing. You never save. Will there be an early action for Mac OS? I think we did say that we are not going to do Mac this time. So
It's not worth
a
it.
very, very simple
Not
reason
enough
for
people.
that, and let's be honest, is we have done Mac version in Solasta 1, and let's say just that the number of cells were very, very, very low on Mac. So it's
Yeah,
just
there's
not
nobody
worth
nobody plays on Mac.
It's a lot of effort basically to make Mac
Nobody
work.
plays on Mac.
And
Nobody plays on
also,
Linux.
it's not only
It's like 10
making
people in
it
the
work
world.
once, it's maintaining it whenever there's updates, whenever
It's
there's
not
like,
worth it.
things about crossplay, whatever. It's like very, very difficult for us because we're also not having. We
But
don't
what
have
about the
Macs in
Mac
studio,
users?
so
Shut
we
up.
had to like
Buy
buy
Windows.
specific machines to make sure that we can test it. We can build. It's very difficult.
You're
so
like
sorry,
a
Mac
less
players,
than
but,
1%
probably not this time.
Of the user base, it's not worth it.
Oh, so someone says, I would like to formally request the ability in early access to edit character appearance, not just stats. I'll create a character and then realize the visuals look better on a different character. I wish I just could edit the character, so basically just
appearance,
change a character's face after creating it. I don't think we can, right? Right now, when we
No.
create a character, it's like the character's done.
So we thought of respecing, so
Yes.
changing the classes, etc. of the
The
character.
stats and all that kind
We
of thing.
we
yeah.
thought of maybe to go to a barber or something like that, but the full appearance, I don't know, why not?
So at the moment, not planned. We do have like you said, respec plan because, as you know, Solasta 2 will have multi-classing. So that means you can easily screw up your build if you're not very, very D&D savvy, which is fine. It's like a lot of things. Like I've made my fair share of terrible characters and realized they're not going to go anywhere. But for the visuals, not yet. I see a funny question. Will there be more bickering between the characters in Solasta 1? I think yes, right? It's a family.
It's pretty much the tone that we want to keep.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun.
So
the
as
dialogue
you
between
know,
the characters.
brothers and sisters like to rib off each other very often when they're kind of close, and our party is kind of close. I see a question about tides. Will there be mechanics about high tides, low tides with the water?
Not for now.
Not for the moment, not for early access, but I do remember that one of the design for one of the location will include that if it works.
Yes,
So,
but not
Not
at
in
the
early
wall,
access launch,
not at the
yes.
wall map level. That's what I.
No,
meant.
yeah,
true,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Not at the
Even the
warm-up,
demo,
you're right,
the
you're right.
demo
Sorry,
had
but for
low
the
tide
location,
and high
it's
tide,
different.
but it
Yeah,
was
it's something
not
that you've
in real
experienced
time.
in the demo.
Yeah.
So it's something that we've toyed around with.
Okay.
So yeah, something that we want to sort of try to find a way to keep in the final game.
Because
And
you
no,
could
there will not
progress
be
it
withers
to
in
the
Solasta.
next
Withers is not part
time
of the world of
of day, and it
Solasta,
was
and
high
I'm pretty
tide
sure we
versus
would
low
get
tide.
sued if we added withers, especially if we added him with big naturals. So withers, if you don't know, it's
But it wasn't like a
if you don't
day-night
remember, it's
cycle. It
the-
was
the
go to a
kind of like the
location,
undead
sleep,
in
and when you
BG3
woke up, it
in-
had
at your
progressed
camp that allows
forward, and it was
respecting.
now low tide.
And people love
But it wasn't like a
because
natural progression of
it's just
like
level.
day to night
It's
and then
level.
low tide to high tide.
Okay. Let's see. No. The game will not be out on Mac. Sorry, because I see someone getting confused. It's not on Mac for early access, and it's probably not going to be on Mac on 1.0 either. We don't want to give like false hope on that one. Let's see. Do you plan on sticking on the same thing of the first game in regard to subclasses, 2 PHB classes? 2 PHB subclass, 2 homebrew. No, for now we're just planning for 2 subclasses. So 1 homebrew from Solasta 1, so from COTM, and 1 new one. So if you're wondering why less subclasses, it's because first of all, if you remember, 4 subclasses was after 3 years of support with DLCs.
Yep.
So right now we're early access.
And also we prioritized the fact of having all 12 main classes
Exactly.
for 1.0 instead of having more subclasses.
So if you remember in Solasta 1 at 1.0 we had 6 classes with 1 extra one coming after, so 7. The goal here would be to have less subclasses but all the classes if possible. Again, that's what we're aiming for, but we are never, if something happens and we don't have the time, we'll have to release without all the 12 subclasses, but hopefully we want that to happen. What races for now are confirmed on the early access release? 4 of them, right?
Yes.
We have human, elves, dwarves, halflings, the classic group. Hopefully we can add more for 1.0. So I know like a lot of people like the Dragonborn. We also know that a lot of people like Tiefling, half elves as well, even though it's not technically D&D 2024. It's something that you guys have said in the survey that you really, really enjoyed. So probably we
We'll find a way.
Yeah, we might be able to find a way to adjust the visuals to have them. And I think that's all the questions I see. Oh, will the game be optimized on Steam Deck? That's
Well, actually, you've played the demo. Some of you may have played it with a gamepad, so I guess it's part of the measures we took at the start of the project is to include the gamepad, the controls, not only for console but also for devices like this.
Oh, I was so stoked that I was able to play the demo with the
experience
controller.
is smooth and natural
because they've put that
and that being said,
priority
yes,
up
we work
front.
a lot on the optimization.
So
maybe
look
it
forward
doesn't
to
show
being able to
yet
play
on
on a
this build
controller.
Yeah, of course.
going from
It's-
event to event. But the idea is to make the game run on the smaller specs, and well, Steam Deck, it's a great device, but it was released a few years ago now, and obviously it's not as fast as the latest gaming rigs. But it's still a great device, and we want to try to optimize to make it run smoothly.
Yeah.
Is it going to be optimized enough for early access? I don't know. But
I think one thing that Karim, our technical director, told me was that we wanted it to be playable on early access and optimized in 1.0, so that in 1.0 when you launch the game, it has like this little mac around saying that yes, it is Steam Deck compatible, and the experience is not like 15 FPS. I want to die kind of like game.
But the game already runs on the Steam Deck.
Yeah,
It's
it is
just
possible to play it now.
right now, but it's not fast enough yet.
It's not. Yes, we did release about console release. We want to aim for 1.0. Is there any talk about mounts or mounted combat? No, right?
Mounted combat.
But-
no.
Mounted combat.
No.
No, so that's a little bit. If you play D&D, you know that even on tabletop, mounted combat is a kind of worm. It's like, oh, I want to play, and then my horse plays, or the horse plays
No.
before me, and I move on. It's a lot of like complex things, and for us, we don't have like the. So how frequently should we be expected to be ambushed by several adult dragon and random encounters? Just wanted to make sure we're tuning into the authentic Solasta feel in mind. So I actually mea culpa, the twin dragon encounter was actually something of my doing that I added because like some people were like random encounters, there's not a lot of variety, so I added more, and then we said, oh well, obviously because they are CR7 or something, then if you're like level 8 or 9, you could probably handle that. But the problem was random encounter could happen when you were sleeping, and if you can imagine two dragons getting the jump on you while you were asleep and just double breathing on your party, just game over. So yeah, that was my problem. Can you hire mounts for travel on the map to carry additional weight and to move faster?
It's not in the
It's not planned, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Will different races have different reaction and dialogues in the future? I think that's a bit too much work, right? We don't have the manpower for that. I know that Xavier have put more dialogues option depending on the classes sometimes, or the
background.
or the background. No, not the background.
The
The personality.
I guess it would make sense, but I don't see it as a repeatable pattern that
Yeah.
you will have along the game. But maybe there will be some exceptions.
I think what's to take from that is it's probably possible, but it's like, do we have the manpower to do all those extra events? Not necessarily possible.
I would say that internally in the game, a character has lots of tags, like
Yes.
qualifications.
Yeah,
I'm
backgrounds,
an elf,
proficiencies,
I'm a
personality.
fighter, this and that, and then the dialogue cutscene system can detect which character does have this tag, then I have this specific answer. But again, dispatching that all over the game, it's another type of work.
Okay, I got a question from someone here saying, hey, will the combat be based on cubes or free movement or hexagons? So I think combat is still tile-based, right?
Yeah, it's tile-based, square tiles.
Yeah.
Even though the movement is not as rectilinear or diagonals as in Solasta 2, it's a bit freer. This is why you have fragment moves in the combat. But yes, it basically tiles. Again, for legibility reason, because it makes more sense to understand if you're going to trigger an attack of opportunity or not.
And actually, it's already available in the demo.
Yeah, true.
So there's no change compared to that.
So as you guys know, there's a demo right now on the Solasta 2 Steam page.
Which we have
You
played.
can download it. It doesn't have the 2024 rules because back when we made the demo, the rules were not available, so we wouldn't be able to do it. But if you want to get a feel of what Solasta 2 kind of like will be like, there's a lot of upgrades that's been done. And actually, I think we're going to remove the demo at some point, like when early access comes out, because it's like so far from what
Outdated.
the game is nowadays that probably not a good representation anymore. So if you want to play it, it is because I know some people don't want to get spoiled.
It's a tech
I'm
demo.
not going to play the demo because I don't want to get spoiled from the main campaign. The demo is a separate adventure. So you can play it safely without getting spoiled because it is not part of the main game. You will not see you might see the location being reused, but the story itself will not be part of the main game. Okay, I see. Can we play in Evil Aligned campaign party? No. We've already talked about it.
There's not really alignments, I think, nowadays.
Yes,
it's
but we can't really play evil characters.
It's, again, we don't have the time and the means to make all these possible answers and accommodate that.
But without going into details, you'll be able to make choices
Yes.
with certain people
Yes.
in the game that probably have, less.
Yeah, it's not
Less
the greater
good
good,
guy
yes. I mean, like,
options.
just like Pierre said, you can align with some of the factions because there will be factions.
But at the end of the day,
Some
you're
factions
playing
are,
heroes. You're
let's
not
say,
here to
less
play
friendly
bad
than
guys.
others.
So
Go
play Tyranny.
That's the extent
whatever
of
it's
it, right?
called by Obsidian if you want to
You
play
can
bad
associate
guys.
with evil. You can't really be evil yourself.
I think we had the experience in Solasta 1 of 3 different ways of making campaign, like COTM and the Lost Valley and Palace of Ice.
Yeah.
And Lost Valley was an experiment in having different factions and
Yes.
in more free-form decision making where you want to ally with that. And I guess I'm not going to spoil anything, but we've learned all the lessons of the 3 main campaigns and integrated that into Solasta 2.
In other words, what didn't
Will there be
work?
pre-access on Xbox? No. Consoles are 1.0.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the answer is no.
Yeah.
There won't be any pre-access on consoles.
Will we be able to alter clothing colors?
It's possible.
It's possible, but it's not.
Not sure it's going to be fully
right.
unlocked for the access or not, but it's part of the possibilities we have. Now we have to.
Yeah, because they did
To
dye
find
packs.
the right
way to
Baldur's
open
Gate
it
3,
to
you
the
could dye
users.
your armor, yeah.
Can we? Can the party size can be increased from 4 to maybe 5 or 6? So we already talked about that. The narratives of Solasta is a party of 4. That's even within the story. It doesn't we wouldn't work with 5 or 6 because the story isn't written that way. But we know that a lot of people have asked that in the past. So Solasta 2, what we have is
Companions.
exactly, and not only companions like we've seen in Lost Valley. That's like the guy level 1 that just keeps on being level 1, and some people try to keep him alive for very long. I know Cole Carnage did and was very sad when he finally passed away. But yes, this time the companions, they do level up. They have their own skill set, their own spells, powers, and all. You cannot level them up like if they were a playable character. You cannot change their inventory. But they are not like a dead weight just following you around. They have their own power.
That's interesting.
How big is the early access? How long is it?
Probably 20 to 30 hours.
Well, that's the rough. Actually, it's a very hard question. Why? Because there are a lot of things that can change that playtime. If you want to take your time, if you want to explore the map, if you want to create 1, 2, 3, 4 characters on your own, you want to spend hours.
If you want to 5 minutes for every decision in combat, for example, it's going to take more time. So
we've seen a lot of variants because some people like me know the rules very well, and we just go breathe through encounters. Some people really need to okay, so how does that work? I've created a sorcerer and never played sorcerer. Okay, so meta magic works like this. So we've seen a lot of people take their time, and that can really lengthen the game as well.
But if you want to have a sense of what's the storyline length? If I just want go to a straight line and don't bother with any secondary requests or whatever, I think it's fair to say that if you're super efficient, you could go up to 8 to 10 hours, but then that's for one run. That's without testing a lot of things. That's probably without multi-classing, like, there's a lot of things that come into play.
Yeah, 20 to 30
that's
hours
the bare
if you
minimum,
take
or
your
that's
time.
the rounded numbers that you can
For early access, right?
For early
Yeah,
access,
for early access.
absolutely.
So,
That's for early
about
For
the
main
same as
game,
like
I think
Titan
we
Quest
always
2.
tried to go for 40 hours, something like that, which
Yeah.
was always like the aim for Solasta 1 as well. Um,
Speed
okay,
run it
let's
to
see.
10 hours, take your time,
All right.
20 to 30.
Can each player get their own No, you're not gonna have like 8 people in the party because each player has their own companion. No, you're probably gonna have like, I think at most 2 companions at the same time. Yeah. So at most you're gonna be a party of 6.
It's group companions.
Are voice-over languages planned in the future or only English? Only English.
That's
Only
a very
English.
good question,
Yeah,
actually. It's because we're an RPG. It still has a strong story. There are a lot of lines. So what we want to focus on is localization, as in text localization, subtitles, menus, so on and so forth. But when it comes to VO, it's an art in itself. It's huge volume of text. So we want to make sure that the English is done right and it's subtitled the right way in as many languages as we can have the capacity to do.
And we stick to the same principle that in the dialogues and cutscenes, everything is voiced.
Yeah. So
There's
it's
no
a
text
lot
to
of
read.
voice.
Even when your character is speaking, it's voiced. The only difference is on the world map. For now, we're not planning voices on the random events. Again, because we want to be able to generate lots of them.
Procedural
without
generation,
having to
yeah.
wait for the voices to be ready.
I see will we be able to resurrect companions if they die? That's also to be questioned, right? It's like,
I think so. I think it's doable if it's not the case. I mean, if it's really needed. But again, death saving throws on companions is going to go a long way into making them more survivable. So it's a first step, I would say.
okay, I see someone asking, can you please send the alpha beta to Wolfheart FPS for testing? Don't worry, Wolfheart FPS is a known name to us. When the early access comes around, he will get probably access earlier so that he can try it out and make videos. Don't worry about it. We're not gonna leave him out to dry.
Just be careful, he might cry if you don't.
We're just
send
going to
him
take a
early
few more
access
questions, and I think we're going to end for today because we've talked quite a lot. We've shown you the world map. I'm just going to also put back
Sorry,
the,
not sorry. Dragon Age Railguard.
That's not the right tab. I'm going to put back the other video here, which was the little engine video, so people who didn't see it can see it. At the moment, I'm showing the Unreal editor. Yeah. So for those who missed it, just as a recap, this is a video of Mathieu just creating a world map very quickly in the engine, in the tool that we have developed, and then usually this will immediately afterwards get transposed into what you see on the screen. Sorry, you don't see that because I changed it. But what you saw on the screen, the world map you saw, because from those tiles are procedurally generated like a visual that makes it so that you can easily edit the world map and change, biomes around, towns around, and stuff like that.
And the connections and the paths.
Exactly, the connection, the rivers and all that thing. I see. Can we add Spanish VO? So we already said that we would add Spanish localization, but like we said earlier, VO we are not putting any other VO than English. We just don't have the money for that. It's way too expensive. Let's see. All right, so what influenced the world cultures of Solasta? Like I see Care being Welsh, Kapunki being Finnish. Is there a set convention with naming things, or is what sounds good? I don't have the answer. I think it would be.
I don't know.
I think it would. We would have to ask our writers, right?
Well, the Caer reference, it means castle in Celtic language. So I guess it's one of the references, but I'm not sure I can go into.
It was the case in the first game, and it's true that we're still in the same world, the world of Solasta. So we want to maintain a consistency between the two games.
And this Karamor is also because it's like
Goes to the sea.
No, it's because it's from the. No, I was gonna say Beacon, but no, it's the Manakawan Empire that created the city. So they have like the same naming convention. But you'll see that there's a lot of new town afterwards that are not made by Manakawan, and they have very different names as well. Okay, I think we're gonna wrap it here. I'm just gonna take a few more questions, maybe one or two. So thank you everyone for being here today. Thank you all for asking your questions. I hope you guys are as excited as we are coming into soon 2026 and then soon early access. Like we said, we're gonna have more to show you in the coming month. So keep an eye out there, and also in the community streams, I will start to show and play the actual game. I will not be showing I don't want to spoil anything, so we're not going to be going through the quests, but we'll show you a few things like a random encounter, some combat, those kind of things. Maybe the city as well. Okay. So, yeah.
Any last words?
Any last words? Mathieu, do you want to say anything to the
No,
community?
thank you for joining us. Very excited for you to play the final
Oh,
game.
I can't wait.
It's still a lot of work for us to complete before it's available, but we'll do our best.
Yeah, I'd say
Alright,
we're probably
what
2-3
you,
years
Pierre?
away
Any
from
words
1.0.
for our
I was
players?
just super excited to be here and answer all the questions. Keep asking them, actually, or join the Discord. Make sure that you join the conversation there. We really want to make the game with you guys, so yeah, stick with us.
Absolutely. I think you said everything I wanted to say. It's been a very, very big pleasure to host a stream for you today. We are probably not going to host an extra stream during November because we usually do one a month. So this one is a bit early. So the next stream will probably be around December. But you know that you can always find me on Discord, and we have like a lot of veterans here in Discord as well who they've been helping us a lot. So when you have questions, they probably have the answer, and if they don't, they usually ping me. So again, if you have questions about Solasta 2, Discord is the easiest way for you to get an answer.
And your name on Discord is?
It's Misrin, yeah, Misrin. So, well, that's it for us today. Clear Skies Adventures.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that was awesome, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that as much as I did. I'm a big fan of the first game. Looking forward to the second game in the early access next year. I'll continue to plug along and cover things as I see them come up. Sounds like they're going to be doing another live stream in December. Again, join their Discord, wishlist on Steam. Check out my Solasta 1 playlist if you haven't already done so. Check out my demo playthrough of the Solasta 2 demo earlier this year. Get involved in the conversation, and I'll see everybody in the next one. That's a wrap for me tonight. I'll be back again tomorrow morning with some more Outer Worlds 2 as we continue our playthrough there. And I've also got a key from Saber Interactive for Painkiller, which I think we're going to stream during tomorrow's afternoon slot. So we're going to do Outer Worlds 2 in the morning and then come back and do some Painkiller in the afternoon. And tomorrow is the official launch of Outer Worlds 2 out of early access. So to all of you who are going to be playing that tomorrow, enjoy. And don't forget, in November, we've got our Fallout 76 journey starting, as well as our Elder Scrolls Online complete adventures starting. So stay tuned for both of those. We're currently playing through Watchtower and Starfield as well. See everybody next time. Have a great rest of your evening.